Hi, my name's Dennis Mixer. I'm the founder of Ministry of the Sheep International, and we want to take some time this morning to tell you about the ministry. First, I want to tell you a little bit about me. I was raised in a Christian church, Christian family, and actually when I was in my late teens, friends would come to me for counseling. I wasn't living a strong Christian life, went into the military and really fell from God. And it got to the point where I was playing running from God, saying, God, I don't want anything to do with you. And he one day knocked me upside the head, the 2x4, and I came back to him. I was in law enforcement for 20 years total. I was in military police for 3 years, and then civilian law enforcement for 17 years. I did the DARE program, the McGruff program. I was a volunteer on an ambulance, and it's just all of a sudden I was about 46 years old, and it didn't seem as meaningful as it used to. And I started praying about it, and God started telling me, it's because I have more for you to do. And what I was hearing God say was that I would be working with people without a home and myself without a home. So I continued praying about this and felt I was being led to do like a street ministry or something like that. I ended up quitting my job and moving back to Minnesota, where I'd grown up. And I got there, I told my family my plans of basically doing street ministry. And a sister told me I needed to see this evangelist that was going to be at our brother's church the following Sunday. So I thought, well, I can stick around for 1 week. And walked into the church the following Sunday, and the evangelist, his name is Thomas Stammen, and he is the president of Impact Ministries International. And they had picture boards set up at the entrance of the church. And I saw they had a ministry in India with an orphanage. They had a farm and were working with another orphanage in Uganda. They had a farm and a feeding center in Guatemala. And then I saw a farm and orphanage in Honduras, and God said, that's where you're going. And of course, Honduras is a little bit different than downtown Minneapolis. And I told God, I said, I need some verification on this. That's a big step. So this evangelist is preaching, and he would stop every once in a while and he'd pray for people. And I was the third person he prayed for. And with the others, he is very motivational. He got to me and he kind of bowed his head like this, and he looks up, he says, you're a hard worker. And his eyes got real big. He said, you'd be good in Honduras. So there's my verification that God wanted me to go to Honduras. And make a long story short, I was planning on saving money to go down there for 6 months on my own, then coming back and trying to get funding. Is a matter of, I've seen too many people that go into churches, they say, this is what I want to do and I need you to give me your money. And then you never hear anymore. So I was wanting to support myself for 6 months, come back and say, this is what I do, these are the kids that I work with, I want to continue doing this. And well, I started looking for a job, and I could not find a good paying job. I ended up working at a convenience store for a little over minimum wage. Now, obviously wasn't saving any money, and I figured, I'm not making a lot of money, so I was going to take a couple weeks to travel with this evangelist, since I was going to be working at an orphanage that he was in charge of. I wanted him to know me better, and so I went on the road with this evangelist, and within 2 hours of being on the road, he asked me why I wasn't going to Honduras until July. And this was February. And I told him I wanted to save money to go down there on my own and then come back and try and get supporters. Well, he says, we need you down there now. He says, we're paying 3 security guards at the orphanage. You've got experience in law enforcement. We will pay for your flight down there for 6 months, a flight back at the end of the 6 months, and we'll give you a little bit of money. You can live at the orphanage and eat at the orphanage, and you'll be working with the kids and working on the new orphanage, and the only difference is you'll have a gun on your side. So a month later, I'm in Honduras, full expense paid trip to Honduras, and fell in love with my kids. I've got 26 kids down there that in my heart they're my kids. And at the end of the 6 months, came home with the intent of raising funds to go back down there. And I was asked to go to Uganda instead. And I said, something I had to pray about. And I talked to God about it, and said, God, what about my kids? And He says, no, Dennis, those are my kids. I just let you take care of them for a while. He says, I've got more kids than you're ever going to be able to handle. And He led me to form Ministry of the Sheep International. Ministry of the Sheep International is based on Matthew 25:31-46, where the king separates the sheep and the goats. And to the sheep, He says, welcome to my kingdom. When I was hungry, you fed me. When I was thirsty, you gave me something to drink. When I was naked, you clothed me. When I was sick and in prison, you visited me. And they said, well, Lord, when did we do this? He says, anytime you did this to the least of one of mine, you did it to me. And then, of course, to the goats, He said, depart from me, you workers of iniquity. He says, when I was hungry, you gave me nothing to eat. When I was thirsty, you gave me nothing to drink. And I said, well, when did we do this? And He said, whatever you didn't do to the least of these, you didn't do for me. So that is what Ministry of the Sheep is based on. Right now, we are trying to take care of 10 kids in India, working with a ministry called Village Gospel Team. And we have 10 kids that are sleeping on the floor of the church. And right now, we are basically able to get enough funding to feed them. I have a vision of forming a orphanage there. The pastor, Pastor G. Job, who passed away recently, his 18-year-old son has taken over, and Pastor Job told me, he said, we're taking care of 10 kids, but there's 200 on the street, and that's in a small village in India. It's not even a big area. It's a smaller village, and I have a vision of establishing a proper orphanage there where the kids can be taught. They'll have their own bed, clothing, food provided, and also Uganda, which is where, as I was praying, about going to Uganda, God told me I would be going there. We're in contact with different orphanages there, different ministries. Been invited to Kitale, Kenya, to do crusades, and right now I'm on a 4,000-mile walkathon. I started May 30th in Spring Lake Park, Minnesota, which is just north of the Twin Cities, and today I am sitting in Waverly, Ohio, with Jeremy Calvary and his wife Miranda, who are the founders of JMC Ministries, and I have not quite a fourth of the way there, so I still have 3,000 miles to go, a little more than 3,000 miles to go. I'll be leaving here Sunday and headed for Washington, D.C. for the conference to support Israel. From there, going to Florida, and going to go to Miami, cross over through the Everglades to Naples, and then back up to Peoria, Illinois for the National Missionary Convention on November 19th. And Jeremy is pointing. I don't see any snakes or anything, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. I'll be there November 19th, and I would just invite anyone watching this to check out the website. It's ministryofthesheep.org, or if you just Google Ministry of the Sheep, you'll come up. I also do a broadcast on AgapeJesus.com, which is a Christian type MySpace, and I do a broadcast there every night. It's 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central, where it's a video chat room. You can go in. You don't have to be a member, but I would encourage anyone to become a member. We're trying to get the site built up with Christians, true Christians, and you can set up your profile just like on MySpace. We have a video chat room for members only. You can make your own chat room to where just you and your friends, or you and your church, or you and your business can go in there and chat. A club, whatever, as long as it's clean. But I do a broadcast there. You don't have to be a member of Agape Jesus to watch the broadcast and to join in. And it's informal. I go on when I can, and people come in. I start talking about what happened throughout the day, or if they hadn't been there for a while, I'll start what happened 3 days ago and go through it. And it's very informal, and it's a good time of fellowship usually. So that's what I do. Once again, it's ministryofthesheep.org. If you wish to donate, there's a button that says please help support us. That'll take you to PayPal, and it also has the address if you wanted to send a check or money order to the ministry, made out to Ministry of the Sheep International, and the address there. So that's about it. God bless you. I hope to see you at the chat. Say once again, 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern, AgapeJesus.com. It's Walkathon chat. So, God bless you.